I'm going to tell you about the plight of street children and our responsibilities towards them. So let's start the topic with one of my life experiences. It was the day when I went with my parents to Ahmedabad Hut to bring the idol of Ganesha for Ganesh Chaturthi. After an intense search of 1 hour, we all finally agreed on one of the idol to be the Bappa of our house. With lots of happiness and excitement, we were on our way back home. A car stopped at the signal. Suddenly, someone tapped on the window on my side. A girl, younger than me, was asking for money. Before I could react, she went on the other side and started begging to my mother. Her continuous tapping made my mother very furious. She literally scolded her and asked her to leave. The signal turned green and we were moving ahead. But the thought wheel was continuously spinning in my mind. I was thinking that what loss would have incurred if my mother had given a rupee or two to that little girl. She was ready to spend 2,500 on a mud idol, but refused a child who was actually in need of money. The thought kept on crawling in my mind. So, I decided to talk upon that incident with my mother. She explained that the help in form of money would make the child lazy. Instead, she should find some work to earn her living. Now here, I don't understand why these adults don't act as they preach. On one hand, there is a law against child labor, and on the other hand, my dear mother expects that a girl younger than me should work just to fulfill her basic needs. Not satisfied with the answer, I decided to search upon the facts of streetism with the help of Google Baba. What I found, according to a report by Sanjana K, published on April 12, 2021, there is no reliable data on the number of street children in our country. We have to be dependent on the surveys conducted by different NGOs. The estimates of these surveys vary on the basis of methodologies and classifications each of them use. So, it's an urgent need of a centralized database that should ideally be updated, as the floating population of these street children is too high, and some of them do not have any identification proofs also. This thought occupied my mind in such a way that I convinced my father to interview the street children in my area. After talking to them, I found that there are many reasons these children find themselves on street. They may be classified as pull factors and push factors. Pull factors such as entertainment, glamour, good job opportunities, etc. Or push factors such as death of both the parents, rural underdevelopment, abuse or violence at home, etc. These children are inadequately protected, supervised and directed by responsible adults. Sadly, many of them are kidnapped and treated as slaves by the kidnappers, who often physically, mentally and sexually abuse them. According to the report by Save the Children, there are 25% of street children involved in begging and rag picking. 15% of them are involved in selling items on the roadside. Less than 5% are involved in cleaning cars, working at the roadside shops, or working at the construction fields. Some of them fall prey to drug addiction or get involved in antisocial activities and eventually end up as criminals. This statistical data filled my heart with deep agony. My search on internet introduced me to several street children who have lost their childhood on unknown streets and are continuously battling with the challenges coming in their day-to-day life. While delving the internet, I found that the government of different countries and NGOs jointly or individually have launched many programs to curb the menace of streetism to attain the sustainable development goals. But until and unless these children are made aware of it, which is only possible when they are educated, no change can be brought. And don't you think we as the common public can be the most important stakeholders and save these flowers on fire? Just talking about these sustainable development goals is not enough. We have to come forward and sustain the life of at least one child. Instead of the stigma and social exclusion, why can't we offer them care and support? Remember, the rights for these street children is not just solely a humanitarian task. It's also the prime duty for all the stakeholders. According to Swami Vivekananda, educate and raise the masses, and thus alone a nation is possible. So, how can we leave these future citizens and being of a nation achieving the sustainable development goals? Let us pledge to provide them safer environment, proper education, opportunity of living a healthy life to them. Let us make it a collective goal to bring down the barriers which we have constructively built and shed down the identities and boxes we have stapled them into. It's time to spread the love across every child. Thank you.